Okay, so the tactic we're going to go over here, it's a variation of the metal box cock block. You can call it the double cock block or the beaver dam if you're a female player and you want to be politically correct. So what you do basically here, you're trying to create a large area of frontage, get guys out so you can shoot the hell out of these guys, but obviously you don't want to be assaulted by Tin-Gal, Vorbak, and Zardu Layak with your tacticals or veteran tacticals here. So you're probably not going to do a lot of damage, and you're probably only going to delay them a turn, but the idea behind this is a stall tactic, so at least you're making them work for killing your units, or you're making them take 2 or 3 turns to kill these guys off when they could normally do it in one, while slowly maybe attritioning them down and making them take more casualties than they should. So what I like to do, this goes back to like what we were talking about before. So what we'll do, we'll get one unit out before this tank even moves. We'll put them back here. They'll get their full 6. So we'll just quickly stack these guys in here. I'm not going to get super complicated with it, just so for speed here. But basically, you deploy these guys here. You probably want to take more time than that when you're actually doing it. So then this other Rhino, you can go ahead and get these other guys out here. So we're basically double stacking them in here. You could move this. It's better to do this before you move either Rhino. So basically, we'll stack both units in here. So then when you move these Rhinos, I'm not going to roll dangerous terrain, but obviously you would have to. We'll move one here, and we'll move one here. So the trick to this is, your enemy models, during no part of their movement can they move within 1 inch of an enemy vehicle. So what that means is this guy's base is wide enough to where if you only put a 3-inch gap here, at no point during his move can he move through here and be 1 inch away from any of these models. So even though this looks like a corridor, he cannot move through here. So what you'll want to do is widen your tanks to their widest point, but only leave about a 3-inch space here. So if you look, these 2 units are now stacked in a column where they can freely shoot down this corridor at these guys and maybe inflict casualties, but on these guys' turn, they'll still be able to return fire, but in order to assault, look how much space they have to move around. There's difficult terrain on both sides. They're going to have to roll for that. 6 inches only gets them to here, so that's still going to be a very far assault. Now, what you do have to be careful of, we're doing it on a much compressed basis here, so we can all get it in the camera frame. So normally you would try to get these guys further back, but just for display purposes. So what you want to avoid is this guy can move up to where he still stays 1 inch away up here, and then declare an assault. Now when you declare an assault, you are allowed to move within 1 inch of an enemy model. So he would have to declare assault on these Rhinos, but he could declare a multi-assault, and if they got enough range, they could then shoot through and get all 3 units. So you do need to be aware that you want to place these guys far enough back that when they roll their assault distance, they're only likely to be able to assault your Rhinos. But that's basically how it works. Try this out. This is a very good tactic. Because I only moved these things 6, they could still shoot their guns. You could also choose, if you wanted to, if this was a nasty shooting unit like plasma guns instead of a nasty assault unit, you could then further move these things flat out and actually block line of sight totally. And then it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, to where even if you wreck these things, as long as they don't explode, they're still going to provide cover. You can also double, if it's a shooting unit you're trying to block, you can even double stack them in like this, so if they blow up one, you still have another one. There's different ways you can do it here. So just make sure you use all this stuff to maximum effect. Your 35-point Rhino can be a very formidable weapon.